We've got tips and recipes for healthy living. So for fun and inspiration, come and join us in the raw food world.
Welcome everybody, this is Matt Monarch with the Raw Food World TV show. Early in the morning, chaos is happening everywhere. Animals are being fed, Araya's jumping for joy. And today, as promised, I said I was going to give you my recommendations on how frequent to do colon hydrotherapy for maintenance, healing from disease, and the awakening process. But before I get into this, I'd like to share a couple things. Many people are always asking me to do consultations. And for a while I did them, but I don't do them anymore. And the reason is because I say the exact same thing for every single person. Back in the 1980s, there was a woman named Dr. Wigmore. She discovered a method to where she was helping heal thousands and thousands of people from all sorts of degenerative diseases, ailments, and conditions. Anywhere ranging from the most serious to the ones that are not so severe. And through this method, she was helping people left and right. And then she created this health institute where people would come and heal. And then based off of her method, many other health food institutes popped up all around the United States and now all around the world that actually use the same exact method, which is an improved diet, colon cleansing, and green juicing or wheatgrass. So when people come to me, I just give them this exact same method over and over again. So you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars with me. You don't have to spend $3,000 for a week at some sort of fancy health institute. This could all be done for free at home. It's very easy to do. And there's this misconception that people have that drives me absolutely nuts. And I'm not saying things such as supplements don't help, especially with deficiencies and other situations. But 99 out of 100 times, the main problem in the world right now is not really deficiency. Deficiency is a problem, don't get me wrong. And it's good, that's why we recommend vegetable juice while doing this other process. But the main issue that's afflicting many people, the cause of many diseases, is toxemia, overload of toxicity in the human body. So people are always trying to take things for their situation. Like, I have the flu, I need to take colloidal silver, and this. That's fine and stuff. But the thing that we need to do is detoxify the human body. And through this method, it is the most effective method tested and proven in the world. I know this happened in the 1980s. However, Angela and I have done over 1,000 talks all around the world on this method. And people who have done this method bring their family members and stuff like that. And I've literally witnessed tens of thousands of people that have healed from all sorts of things. So let's say you have the flu. Now, mucus is pouring out of you, you've got a fever. What is happening here is the body is like, okay, we have an overload now. Overload of toxicity. So I'm going to bless you with this flu so we can unload. You're going to lie in bed, you're going to rest, you're not going to eat as much, and you're going to detox. That's what the flu is. And you can expedite the process and go even deeper with detox through cleansing the colon and an improved diet. So let's say you have the flu. You don't want to be, you could take things if you want, such as vitamin C or whatever else you feel, but the true essence is detox. Let's say you have some other issues, such as kidney problems or liver or something like that. Okay, if you want to take something, that's fine, but there's toxicity there. I had this one friend who had liver issues, and they kept taking liver supplements, the liver cleansing supplements, over and over and over again. And I was like, dude, you cleanse the colon, you remove the junk, your organs dump into the colon, you continue this process. And then finally, after years, he starts doing it. He's like, I'm totally convinced, my liver problems are gone. So it's all about detox. So now we're going to go into my recommendations of how often I suggest doing colon hydrotherapy for maintenance, awakening, and healing disease. Now, Maintenance and awakening are kind of the same. And the reason why I wanted to go in this is because I was talking about awakening in a few other videos, and I was talking about colon hydrotherapy, and I talked about these people who did a cleanse and they were doing it every day. You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to worry about that. So this is one of the reasons why I'm bringing this forth. So maintenance and awakening are kind of the same in terms of how often someone should do it. Now, ironically, and I know there's going to be a million comments about this, the less you eat, meaning the less, we're going to do a whole video on density and concentration next. I want to do that next. But what we're talking about here is the better your diet is. For example, there's a standard American diet, and then we've got the whole foods diet, and then the raw foods diet. We're just going to use these three cornerstones. The standard American diet is a dense diet. There's a lot of toxicity there. It generates a lot of toxicity in the body when you digest. This is less, and the raw foods is even less. So the less you eat, the better your diet is. And I don't even want to say better because that's like judgment, sorry. The less you eat, the less concentrated your diet is, the more often I recommend to cleanse your colon. Boo-doo, boo-doo, boo-doo. Everyone's going crazy. What? You eat a raw food diet, you should be perfect, your body should do blah, 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 blah. Okay, check this out. I've talked about this concept many times. What is detoxification? Detoxification is the body going through withdrawals. You drink coffee for 20 years. You stop drinking coffee and you're done with it. You've improved your diet. Okay, you stop drinking coffee. Oh, the body is perfect now, so now I don't have to worry about detox and I shouldn't have to cleanse my colon. You're going through massive withdrawals from the coffee. You're going nutso, the shakes, the headaches, it's nuts. And you think coffee's bad, you eliminate greasy foods, trans fatty acids, refined sugars, processed starches. Coffee is nothing compared to this, and you go absolutely crazy. 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 So, the more you leave out of your diet, the more often we should cleanse our colon. So for my recommendations, for maintenance, it's always good to do a series of colonics to get you started after you've improved your diet and you start going through these withdrawals. Now, since you're going to be going through less withdrawals on the whole foods diet when you're eliminating all processed foods, which is an excellent thing to do, you could just stop there for the rest of your life and be healthy and hopefully, God willing, degenerate disease for the rest of your life. Now, I'm going to tell you the minimums of how often I recommend to cleanse the colon. You could always do more. But for someone who eats a whole foods diet, who's going through withdrawals but not as extreme, you can literally do it 4 to 6 times a year. If you really want to feel good and awakening and stuff like this, I would recommend doing it once a month. It's not necessary, but you'll feel amazing. You could even do it more than that if you like. On a whole foods diet, it's not really necessary. Now, on the raw food diet, let me explain how the withdrawals are. This is intense. The minimum for someone for maintenance and awakening, we'll say maintenance here, is once a month. This is why you can't succeed on a raw food diet. It's the withdrawals, the emotional issues, the toxicities in your body. You're going crazy. The reason why colon hydrotherapy is so powerful, not only does it take out the junk, but you know when you're going through withdrawals, the emotions are going crazy. They're telling you to eat the other stuff. It helps with spiritual awakening, the raw food diet and whole foods diet and cleansing the colon. It removes the waste and it removes the toxicity and it creates the space in the body to where you become stronger and more powerful than these things. You have the potential to become more powerful than easier than these things that are causing ruckus in the body, these negative emotions. It's cheating the process. So if you're on a raw food diet for maintenance, minimum once a month, you can do it more. For the awakening process, On a raw food diet, my recommendation would be 3 times a month. And you could do enemas. You probably have to do it a little bit more often, but 3 times a month for colonics or really heavy-duty enemas. And you could do it more than that too. 4 times a month, whatever, 5, 6, whatever fits your fancy. Okay, so last but not least, let's say you're trying to heal from a condition or degenerative disease. Now, at the Health Food Institutes and in Wigmore, if you go to these places, you're doing enemas and colonics every day, twice a day, every day you're there. If I had a disease, I would personally eat a strict diet. And then I would cleanse my colon every day until I was healed. That's like the ultimate secret. And so if you're having issues, let's go back to the flu and all these organ issues and things like that. When you start cleansing, if you want to like cleanse these things out and you start cleansing your colon every single day, what happens is it becomes easier to eat less. You feel so clean. It's just automatic. You're like, okay, I want to do raw foods. I just feel so good on raw foods. And when I eat something else, it's kind of like heavy and I feel a little bit more lethargic and stuff like this. However, many people, they just go full blast. But then the detox and the intensity of energy is so hardcore, it stops them in their tracks and they just fly back the other way. So what I recommend for people that don't want to go extreme like this is to eat the whole foods and hold yourself back and do the colon cleansing every day, and the detoxification won't be as intense. Me personally, I want to heal. I'm intense. I like that sort of thing. Now, for someone with a serious degenerative disease, you're sitting here, you're ready, you're going to die, is what they're saying to you, in a year or 2, or 6 months or something. Then we're talking a different story here. If it were me and I was in that situation, strict raw food diet, strict green juices and all that fun stuff, cleansing my colon as often as I humanly possibly could. Dealing with the intensity. My life depends on it. That's the way to heal. It's a new lifestyle. It's the new change. It's the new way. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is a lot of people misunderstand this concept. The diet is key. You're doing the colon hydrotherapy, you get emotional, you have all these emotional issues, and then you go back to your old diet. It's not going to work. You're wasting your time with colon hydrotherapy if you can't be strict and self-disciplined with a strong will to eliminate processed foods. It's one thing from going to a standard American diet and raw foods and then messing around with whole foods when you have emotional issues. But if you go whole foods and then you mess around with the standard American diet, you're doing no good. So nothing's going to work unless you eliminate processed foods completely. Your awakening process is stuck. Your healing process is stuck. You might feel a little better. And if that's what you need to, learn your lesson and take time to get to that point, that's fine. You're in the right direction. But diet is of extreme importance, more than you can possibly imagine. Extreme importance. And last week when I mentioned I was going to be doing this video, I also mentioned I would give some shortcuts with the entire awakening process. Here we are. I did those intense videos divulging a lot of information, and again, here we are. It's all about, are you doing the work? That's the most important thing. These negative emotions, these things come in. You have the ability to overcome this and have power over these things. And you just have to figure out how. I'm giving you a technique with the raw foods and colonics or whole foods and colonics that make your more space and make it more focused and more easy to do this. But you got to watch, okay, does this, do that? This is the key thing. This is the work. Me personally, 24 hours a day, my mission is to connect and figure this out. 24 hours a day. So when you're at work, doing the work while you're working, even if you could just attempt in the car, your whole entire car drive, you're just zoned out anyways. You might as well just, as often as possible. One of the ideal times to do it is at night when everyone's asleep, you're going to bed, you wait. And lastly, I said in that last video that I would give tips on how to expedite the process of the awakening process. There's two things. The first is the will. Oh man, it's the fire. That other video sparked a lot of wills. One a few videos back, The Truth About Awakening. It sparked a lot of wills. I felt it. But then the will didn't make it. But that will, that spark, that never-ending flame. So when you're sitting there meditating for 12 hours straight, zoned out, it's that fiery will is the shortcut. You can spend years, decades, lifetimes in meditation, but with the will, it could happen in days, hours, days, more like days, weeks. And lastly, the final shortcut, which I've mentioned before, is the Creator. What created us? Me, you, and the entire world. Ask. Love with all your heart and soul. And that's the last shortcut. And this is Matt Monarch, trying to help detox the world. And we'll see you next time at the Raw Food World TV show.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at the Raw Food World.